I'm a firm believer that word of mouth is the best way to get more work for my shop. Now that is exactly the case this morning, as Hugo's grandfather Austin brought his crashed Mercedes in, not only for repairs, but also for some upgrades. Hello everybody and welcome back to my garage revivals. Right, so it is Monday morning and it just hit 10 a.m. in the morning, so yeah, we're just coming back to our shop because I had to go and pick up a couple of things for our customer vehicle we have at the shop today. Right, so let's just park up here and then I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what is going on. Alright, so first of all, our shop truck is going to be getting some new wheels and tires today. So this cost me about 600 bucks for the set. So hopefully that's going to be giving us a little bit of a better ride comfortability, if I can call it that. So we also need to do some work to the brakes and stuff like that on this truck because the brakes are very bad. And also we do not have any front shock absorbers on this thing. Those were missing when I checked the vehicle underneath. So that is something we're also going to probably do today to our truck. And we're also going to be giving it a wash, as well as our Mercedes station wagon is going to get a wash. So yeah, on Saturday I was a little bit busy. I built the carport you see over here. So this is just so that we've got a little bit of shade to work under. So obviously I got permission from the gas station owner to do this, and it turned out quite well. And I also made it high enough so that we can also get a two-post lift put in here at some time, because we are going to need one very soon. So yes, this is pretty much the customer vehicle that we have in this morning. It's got some bad suspension parts that we need to swap out. So in the back of our truck we've got a leaf spring for this, as well as a torsion bar, because yeah, we're going to be replacing those two suspension bits for this vehicle, and then hopefully it'll give us a little bit of money back in our pocket. And then we've also got Uncle Austin's car, Hugo's grandfather's car, came in this yesterday for some repairs. Now we're also going to be doing some upgrades to this, so that is pretty much what we need to repair, is this quarter panel damage, and we're probably going to have to replace the door as well, and maybe even the roof needs to be replaced. So yeah, my idea is to try and see if we can find a donor vehicle for this. So we'll get into that maybe also this episode, depends on how far we get with our other jobs we need to tackle today. Because I really want to see if we can get our Mercedes wagon over here looking like a car again. So we're going to be installing the bumpers, the grille, maybe not yet the floor pan, because I might need a lift for that. But we're also going to be putting the wheels on it, and we are also going to be putting all the engine parts that I bought for it in. Not really engine parts, but yeah, like the radiator, the fan, the alternator and stuff like that, as well as the springs over there. And yes, we still have this engine over here, which I thought if I have to, I would replace the engine in our pickup truck. But this engine seems to be doing quite well. I did give it a little bit of a service. So I did check the oil. So let's just check it again. Still good. And we've got the alternator belt on here as well now. So that is also charging the battery. It wasn't charging the battery because there was no alternator on this truck as well. So that has been sorted out, and I also replaced the air filter because our air filter was a little bit rusty. If you remember, we drove this truck back all the way from Hugo's house, and it was a little bit late at night, so let's just start it up again. Alright, so yeah, it's running quite well now. We've got a fan spinning and we've got our alternator as well charging the battery. So yes, our truck is kind of reliable engine wise. We need to do some brakes and stuff like that in the near future, but we are going to be giving this truck a little bit of a wash today, just to see if it's going to look a little bit better. I'm sure with the new wheels and tires on, it'll also give it a little bit of a, a less junky look, because it's extremely filthy. So yeah, we are pretty much going to jump right in and start with the work on the customer vehicle over there that needs a leaf spring as well as a torsion bar. So we're going to be doing that quickly and get that job sorted out, and then we're going to turn our focus to our station wagon over there. So I think first things first is we are going to grab our toolbox, and just gonna get it ready. So Hugo's grandfather also left me the cash this morning before I took off for the shops. That's why we've got very little money left, but he did pay me a little bit of a deposit for repairs on his Mercedes, so that is pretty much 5,000 bucks in our pocket now to start work on his car as well. But I also did build 2 little shelves here, as you can see, just for some of my parts and stuff that we are gonna be keeping around. I did buy some extra coolant and 3 bottles of oil, because I thought I might actually have to service the pickup truck, but that isn't needed. The oil in it is still good. So yeah, we are pretty much doing the suspension work first on the Chad. So I'm gonna do the torsion bar and the leaf spring. I might actually have to get the floor jack. I think it's just gonna make it a little bit easier to get under the car over there. Alright, so let's come and grab our floor jack as well. I think this is where the lift will be very handy for these types of things. To lift the car up so that we can work comfortably underneath it. But for now, this is what we got, and this is pretty much what we are going to use. Alright, so that should do. Alright, let's get it under here. We're going to just pry out this broken torsion bar. Like that. Alright, so yeah, the bumpers that I got for the Mercedes Wagon, those were actually sold to me by the guy named Steve. I did get acquainted with him. You may have seen him in the intro of this video. His Dodge Challenger was parked there and he was selling some parts. So he said he'll also be able to help me with some interior parts for our Mercedes at some point. So that's also something we're gonna hopefully get pretty soon sorted. But my plan for that car is not to really get it perfect. We just want to get it to that point where we can, you know, either use it or sell it on for a little bit of a profit. So we will see what is going to happen with that and how that is going to turn out. But yeah, let's come around this side because we need to replace this leaf spring at the back over here. Because he complained that the suspension is sitting uneven, so hopefully this will sort it out. Yeah, you can tell that leaf spring has definitely seen better days. Right, so let's see if we can get to all these bolts down here. And I believe that should be it. Alright, there we go. One bad leaf spring out, and then we'll pop the new one in here. Right, like that. Okay, let's zip that down. Alright, and there's one more bolt up there. And that is sorted. So that is looking much better. We'll only see once we actually lower the car down. But I can already tell it's going to look much better. Alright, so there we have it. So that is pretty much one job done. So we're going to use our floor jack on the Mercedes as well in a bit. We're just going to put it over there. And then we'll just pop this by the dumpster over here. We'll get this sorted out. Also took out the broken wheel from our pickup truck because that is not going to work anymore. Right, so that, I think maybe we should tackle the truck first. Sort out the truck first. Because I think that's going to be better for us to just make sure our daily vehicle is going to be up and running reliably. So I think let's start with that. So we're going to come over here, I think. Let's just unload these things. So we don't want to jack it up and then we won't be able to reach all of these things. So I'll put that down over there. And we'll just drop our wheels down. Alright, let's put this one over here. And that one over there. Alright, so these are probably what they would call all-terrain tires. I'm not too sure, but I think there is a specific name for it. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's a bias ply tire. Alright, we're just going to try and jack it up at the back here. Yeah, we'll do one wheel at a time if we have to. Which is probably the best way of doing this, so I just hope our jack is going to be high enough for this. Alright, Alright, let's see how this is going to work. Not too bad. We are getting it mounted, so that is pretty good. Alright, so we do have one good tire on that side, but yeah, we're just going to keep it around for a spare tire, I guess. And obviously there's no air in any of these tires, so that is something we're going to have to do as well. Alright, let's see if we can get this side sorted out as well. I hope that's going to be high enough. Right. Right, so this is pretty much going to be our spare tire. We'll just keep it around for the time being. Okay, so that is pretty much the rear wheel sorted on this thing. Just need to get some air into these tires, which we'll do in a little bit. Right, so for the front, I've actually noticed if I'm able to jack it up under the transfer case here, then it should lift the front end up for us. Yeah, that is doing very well. Not too bad at all. Right, so luckily we're not going to have any more odd wheels on our truck. So it's going to hopefully look a little bit better. Alright. Oh, we've got a wheel spacer that fell off. I don't think we really need it. Do we need it with these wheels? I don't think so. Maybe it was just on the one wheel we had a spacer. So I think maybe it was catching the caliper, but this seems to have good clearance, so I don't think it's necessary for that. Alright, I think while we are on this side, let's grab the shock absorber, see if we can get it mounted. Alright, so there's a bolt up there, and then there should be one down here somewhere. There we go. Alright, let's grab the other shock. Just go around and get this sorted out. Right over there. Let me see if I can reach it better from this side maybe. Oh, did you look at that? There was a loose bolt. Yeah, we definitely haven't checked the undercarriage of this vehicle as much. Alright, I think it's just the last wheel, then we should be pretty much sorted. And then I think we're going to air up the tires and then give this thing a little bit of a bath, because it definitely needs to be cleaned up a bit. Alright, that's pretty much all of our wheels sorted, so let's go and lower this truck down. Once again, there was no wheel spacer on that side, so yeah, we've got a 50mm spacer by the looks of it there. Alright, let's go down all the way. Alright, great stuff. So now, see if we can air up these tires. Alright, so there we've got our brand new wheels and tires fitted, and it's already looking much better. We still need to do a lot of things to make this truck look very pretty, but I think it at least looks a little bit better. Just because now we've got some wheels on it and proper tires. So I think what I'm going to do now is grab the hose over there. We're going to be washing the Mercedes as well. So I'm going to put you guys in a little bit of a time lapse and let you guys see how this thing is going to transform. We did have our hose installed as well, so the plumber was here, and I just hope this is going to reach all the way. So let's just check. Yeah, we should be fine. Alright, so here we go. Let's give this thing a little bit of a bath. Alrighty. My goodness, that is quite a transformation. Looks like we almost got the same color bumper. Well, not really. It's a little bit lighter. But yes, we've got our vehicles cleaned up. And I must say the truck actually cleaned up pretty well. It doesn't look too bad. We've got a couple of things we're going to take to either a junkyard or a scrapper at some point. So I'm just going to put these tires in the back of the truck for now, just so that we don't end up kicking them all over the place at the moment, because we are going to be working on the Mercedes now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the parts we need in the engine bay, the cooling fan and the alternator and stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm going to tackle next. So we're going to see if we can get this thing to charge the battery first of all, because that'll be very nice if we don't run out our brand new battery we got with the car. So let's see if we can get this thing mounted. Alright, let me see. Are there any more hidden bolts behind here? There we go. Right, and let's bolt the cable down as well. So that looks good. Alright, I think alternator is in. So let's get our fan installed and then we'll get the belt on. I think the fan goes on here. Alright, that is looking good. And then let's come and grab our belt over here. Let's just put our wrench down. We're going to need it now for the radiator anyway. Alright, so there we go. Our alternator belt is in place. And let's come and grab the radiator. See if we can get this put in. I think this will go in over there. Alright, perfect. Now I think if we top this thing off with coolant and we ran it a bit, it should be fine. But I do want to get this headlight installed as well. So I did install the 2 light bulbs we had left from the Challenger job that we did for Hugo as well. So those are installed. How does this mount? So that's pretty much 2 screws. So let's grab our toolbox a little bit closer. Alright, let's put that down there for now. Screwdriver. Okay, zip that in place. And then we can add our grill we have. Also from Steve. He did have this grill with him as well, so we bought that from him. So this is going to transform the car into looking like a car again. Is that a screw or is that a bolt? Come on, let's see. Now those are screws. Oh, would you look at that? That's almost a car again. Right, now I think let's do the rear bumper first. See if it's going to complete the look of this car a little bit better. If we're going to be able to get in under here to get to those bolts. Ah, I see one over there. Okay, that will work. And there's the other one. Alright, good stuff. And now let's get our front bumper on. Hopefully we can reach it from here. There we go. Right, and over to this side. Okay, that is... I think that starts... Yeah, it's starting to look like a car again. Right, so next up we need to get our springs mounted. Because we do have the shock absorbers on the car, but we don't have the springs yet. So let's see if we can get these installed. So there are 4 of these, 1 for each corner. So these are the stock springs. So it's pretty much just going to be normal ride height. I don't know how the wheels are going to fit on this thing, if it's going to look good. Alright, let's grab the other front one over here. Okay, that is in. Alright, let's go get this one installed as well at the back. Yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of cutting and welding on this car. And also these lower control arms. I think we have one missing on this side. and it's going from there to here somewhere. So we'll have to get one of those eventually, but that will be for another time. At the moment, I'm just looking to get the car practically on its wheels. Alright, there we go. That is sorted. So up next, we're going to just see if we can get some wheels on this car. And then we'll top up the fluids, or the coolant rather, and see if this thing is going to overheat. So we're going to let it run for a bit. I just hope I'm going to be able to get this jack under here. Yeah, we'll squeeze it in there so that it's going to work. And also, yeah, I think we may have missed some spots we needed to clean. But that's okay, we'll sort that out once we start digging into the interior. On the inside of the doors, we didn't clean yet properly, so that is something we need to do. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of parts we need to replace on this thing. Frame rails are rusted. So I do want to get the pretty much suspension sorted out as well eventually on this car. But for the moment, this is pretty much just what it's going to look like. Well, they kind of fit. It's a little too big for the car, these tires, but it's what we have at the moment. Alright, let's jack it up over here as well. Alright, I think that's high enough. That should do. Alright, let's grab our wrench again. Alright, and let's get this wheel put on here. And get that bolted down. Okay, and then the last one. Then I think this car just needs a little bit of coolant. And it should actually be good to use. Although, yeah, it doesn't really look very safe to drive with those big holes in the floor pan. So there, the whole transmission is exposed, so it's not going to be really safe to drive this car. Alright, so let's get this thing lowered down again. Alright, that is pretty much our project car sorted for now. Not really perfect, but I think it should be reliable enough for us to drive if we really have to, if our truck ever runs into any trouble. Alright, so let's come and grab some coolant. I know one of these bottles are half, but I don't know which one exactly. So we're just going to top it up and see what it does. Alright, so our coolant is sorted and we do have good oil in this engine. It doesn't look too bad, so I think we are safe to pretty much try and start this thing up and see if it overheats. So our cluster should tell us if it overheats. I'm sure it won't. But there we go, it runs and we don't have a battery light anymore. So that is a good sign. So we're just going to let this stand for a bit and run so that we can see if it's going to reach temperature and if it's going to overheat. The alternator belt is definitely alternator spinning, fan is spinning. So that is, yeah, not looking too bad. I don't think this engine is really that bad. It just, it's only got 146,000 kilometers on the odometer. Yeah, 164,000. So that is not that much. So this car was probably just abused or vandalized by the looks of it. So that is, yeah, something that can happen with a car that is actually so low mileage. So if we were able to restore this thing to its former glory, get rid of all the rust, I think this car should fetch quite a good penny for us. So yeah, there's still a lot of work. As you can tell, we need to do the whole floor pan, which we do have, but we're gonna probably need to get a lift for that, or we could try and do it on the ground, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult. But we also need to do frame rails. We're also gonna have to do couple of these what are those wheel wells called? Yeah, they think that's what they call it, the inner wells or the wheel wells. So we need to do those, and I think under the hood, yeah, we're gonna have to do the whole cross member over here. We're gonna have to get that cut out, so that means removing the engine. So it's just a matter of how far are we going to go with this. So I'm going to be running some polls on my Discord server for this car and the future thereof. So do check that out. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, there is a link in the description of this video, or at the end of the video. Also, there's a button you can click to join my Discord. Right, so we do have a little bit of coolant left in that bottle, so we'll just put it in front so that we know that's the half. And then I think we should be able to tackle the Mercedes over here on what we've got a couple of panels we need to cut off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start unbolting some parts. So yeah, we've got another broken wheel over here which we can take out. So that is definitely something we're going to have to either replace, or yeah, we're definitely going to have to replace that. That is looking very bad actually. So we are going to be doing some upgrades to this car in a by putting some alloy wheels on this thing, just making it look a little bit nicer, because this is the base model. It's got the black trim, so we're going to color code that. We're also going to color code the bumpers and the trim for him, and we're also going to be pretty much giving the car a respray, maybe even a different color. I think Hugo and I will be discussing what colors we're going to go with, because his grandfather actually wants to sell the car, so we're going to try and make it look a little bit more desirable for the next buyer. So that is pretty much the plan. Right, so yeah, I think let's get into this and see if we are going to be able to take off some of these parts and what we're going to need exactly. So I think let's start with our trunk lid, if it doesn't fall shut on me the whole time. Alright, there we go. So we just pretty much want to see what we're going to work with here. So this trunk lid is definitely gone. Alright, so that is a part that's removed. So see if we can yank this bumper off here, because this is looking pretty bad. Alright, there we go. We dropped down, so we've got that. Alright, I think the bumper, that's definitely also trash. We're gonna have to dispose of that. The trailer hitch might actually still be okay, because the impact was mostly on the side there. So that is something we might actually replace on the car again. So I'm just trying to think, where am I going to put the parts that are good? I think let's just make a little pile over here, and then we'll see. Right, I think most of the parts here we don't really have to take off. We can probably pry that carpet out quickly. We've got some bad trim also that's coming out. Alright, I think this part should still be good. I don't know. I think we'll just put it down on the trunk lid over there so it doesn't get feet, doesn't disappear on us. Alright, so yeah, there's I think the deeper we're going to get into this, the more damage we're going to find. So luckily we do have quite a bit of a budget to repair this car, so it's not as if we are going to run out of money in the halfway of the build. So his grandfather said whatever it's going to cost, he's sure he's going to get the money back when he sells it on. So we are going to pretty much go bonkers here and get this car looking as good as it can be. Yeah, that fuel tank definitely took a hit as well, because that is on the side of the impact. And I think let's quickly have a look at our car over here, if it's doing okay. We've got some black smoke, but it is a diesel. How's the temperature holding up? Oil pressure is good. We've got our temperature is stable. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad. But I think we can turn it off. I'll take this thing for a bit of a drive later on, just to make sure that it actually does run and shift into all its gears. But as I said, that's an ongoing project, and it's already looking much better than it was at the start of this video. Right, so I think what we're going to do next is we are going to start cutting some panels off this car with our angle grinder to see if we can dig a little bit deeper in. But we're going to have to go and swap the disc quickly, because we've got our polishing disc for rust removal on here. So let me just grab that. Put that on the table. It's so nice with our table nice and clean now. We've got a cutting disc over here, which we're going to slap on the grinder. Alright, so let's go and see if we can get some panels cut off. Alright, so we're going to start by cutting these ones off. I think this rear clip should actually come off first. Right, so there it is. One badly damaged rear valance. That is what they call that part. Alright, and I think now we can probably try and cut this quarter panel section off. There's going to be a little bit of a difficulty getting this panel taken off completely, but I think we've got most of them already. Alright, so there might be some more in the door over here. I think that is also part of it. And I think we've got it. Alright, so this came off with the trunk liner as well on the side, which we're not going to even bother taking off. I don't even know where the bolt is of that, but that is gone. Alright, so I did want to check something, if we can maybe bend some of these panels back in place. I think this one we should be able to sort out. Yeah, that should be able to get banged back in place, but I think I'm not sure if the frame rail or anything is going to be able to get bent back in place. So we'll go through everything eventually. So we might actually have to replace the whole trunk floor by the looks of it. So that's why I said I'm gonna look and see if I can find a donor vehicle for this. The damage on the roof section here, we should be able to put some Bondo on this. But yeah, at least we know what we are working with now. I don't think it's really that bad. Well, that actually doesn't look too bad. It's almost straight by the looks of it. So yeah, I think that is definitely something we are going to be able to do. I mean, it's been like a couple of minutes and cutting parts off, and we've already gone quite far with this. On the door, yeah, we're gonna see if we can bang this back a little bit as well. Maybe get some Bondo to do the touch-ups. But yeah, that is gonna be quite a little bit of a job. So we're gonna probably see if we can replace most of these parts. I think the interior bits we should be able to get brown replacement parts if we need some. I think the seat may have been also damaged a little bit. We'll see. That parcel shelf or rear panel is also damaged. The headline is also a bit bent over here, so we're gonna have to replace that as well. So yeah, we'll check with Hugo's grandfather if he wants to stick with the brown or if he wants to go a different color. But I think that is going to be a wrap for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate every view and every like. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. I would appreciate it very much. But yeah, until the next time, cheerio.